see nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing. I see nothing. You look on nothing. I saw nothing. Nothing.
Backroom deals, more scams, more people getting their pockets lined. All these fat cats that are making millions of dollars, and I'm not talking about the people making $100,000. I'm talking about all these guys making their deals behind closed doors and then keeping it a secret, not telling the taxpayers. That's unacceptable. We have to make sure that we have some transparency down here. It's all about changing the lines. You're going to get a piece of property. You're going to get a piece of property. By the way, donate to my campaign for $10,000 a seat at a dinner. You know what it's all about? Is filling their buddies' pockets full of money, sole source deals, giving contracts. It's all about the money. Selling access, how many tables you want, and we'll fix you up with the green belt. Not a problem at all. It's all about the money. To support their developer buddies, you buy the table, we'll give you a little bit of the green belt off. That's the real story, is filling their buddies' pockets full of money. It's all about...
Good evening, taxpayers in the city of Kawartha Lakes. Doug and I have been on a mission again last week, hey Doug?
Yeah, we sure were. Yeah.
Every week.
Three council meetings.
Oh, yeah. 3 council meetings on behalf of the people. And boy, did we ever uncover some stuff more.
Yeah, we sure did.
I mean, it just keeps coming. It's like planting seeds, and we're harvesting.
Mm-hmm.
And are we ever harvesting? We were fortunate enough to sit in on a private meeting by the staff that took place on September 28th.
Mm-hmm.
You have the document there that is planning the city's future. What they figure how many houses and how much tax revenue they're going to need and how they're going to shove all this through without very little public consultation, eh?
Yeah, they actually tried.
Yeah.
They tried to shove it through.
Yeah.
They're very clever with.
They're very creative. Let's give them that, right? The other issue is this is all tied into them finally putting inside what they should have done in 2001 when we did amalgamation. And at that time, the mayor and the province signed that agreement on to go to a single-tier government. Well, in that 176-page document, it laid out very clearly timelines. They didn't follow them as usual. They don't understand, I think, what timelines mean in order for a document to be legal.
So what were the specific timelines that they failed?
Well, what they had to do first off was move from a 2-tier to a single tier. So they had to create 16 wards, which they did, but they were the same 16 townships that were under the county of Victoria. So therefore, and we've remained under those. Well, they went to 8 townships or 8 wards, but back in 2014 when Letham became mayor. But again, they missed the mark. We're talking 2001, and the agreement states very clearly they closed all the bylaw offices out in the townships. They closed the building departments, building inspectors. They also closed down some of the OPP offices and centralized it as well. Roads department, they closed some of them down as well and centralized everything to Lindsay. Because in this agreement, Lindsay was carved out and basically left untouched with its bylaws and authorities and bylaw office and zonings and all that stuff. The problem is they've been operating under an agreement that is not an agreement. It was started out, but never finished and completed. So that's why there's this big push now on to do the redoing of the zonings all in rural Kawartha. Because the problem is, right now, they have no jurisdiction outside of Lindsay by law.
So essentially, they had until 2001 to do it.
Yep.
So now they are 22 years past the expiration date of the agreement.
Correct. 100%.
So is that not in violation of the agreement?
I would say the agreement is void.
Exactly. Needs to be redrawn.
It's sure as hell void for the people.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, they've used that old bylaws that are different in every one of the townships, which you could do something in this township, but you couldn't do it in this township. Under single-tier government, that's why you move to a single tier, is that all your bylaws are standardized, all your zonings are standardized, all your usages are standardized, clear across the municipality. They didn't do it. We're going to prove it to them in court when I'm in on October the 13th, the 25th, November 28th, and February the 5th. Not only didn't they do that, they've got bigger problems coming. They actually don't even have any legal right to do anything within this land, 3,000 square kilometers. It's still First Nations sovereign land by law. I got a nice little document here from the Canadian government. It gives all the treaties across Canada. When they surrendered their land, in return, the government of Canada gave them a chunk of land called a reservation, and they give them money. And they continue to give them money to fund that reservation every year. Well, the nice part about here, I can't find the reservation in Kawartha Lakes.
There is none.
I can't find it.
Typical.
I've been looking and looking and looking, and we have no reservation. In all of my research and documentation, Kawartha Lakes was never surrendered to the British in 1781 under the Williams Treaty or any other treaty that was available at that time.
Didn't we have a discussion that the mayor and the councillors and the city of Kawartha Lakes is actually fully aware of this because they have notification on the website saying we acknowledge the fact that we are on Indian land.
Yes, but the problem is it's the wrong Indians. They said it was on the Toronto band, Mississauga, when it's not. There was a tribe of Kawartha First Nation, if you want to use the term First Nation, that lived here in Kawartha Lakes, roughly between 3,000 to 5,000 First Nations families. And what happened is when the chief would not and the council would not surrender the land to the crown, they came back in 1783 with the military and slaughtered them. That's our history. If you want something to look for in Kawartha Lakes, it's how they slaughtered all the First Nation people. That's all documented. You can dig anywhere here around the water and you can find ancestral burial grounds. As early right down here is Tribute Homes. I went to the Parks Canada that has jurisdiction over them. I went to Conservation right here in the city. I went to the Ministry of Environment in Peterborough, and they're all going, we didn't issue any permits. And they went right in without no permits. They built a bridge over Jennings Creek. They've stripped all the topsoil into huge piles with no permits. Now, I guess that's maybe because they're Doug Ford's buddy. Because Doug wants to turn Kawartha Lakes into Muskoka. Because he had to stop them on the Greenbelt. Because he would have lost his, I think he has lost his reputation. Though.
Yeah, I think so.
And we have another surprise for Mr. Ford. We know where his brand new $15 million cottage is. Up on Lake Muskoka. So we're going to let everybody know. We're going to take some nice pictures of it. That nice house that he has for security. And that other nice little building that he has for, I don't know, that's for his ladies he brings up? For his parties? For his developers?
Entertainment.
So you a question. $15 million property and development.
Yep.
For a person who makes $225,000 a year.
I know. He can really manage his money well.
I wonder who built it for.
Well, I'll tell you another story. I have a good friend. He works for a company that builds decks. And that's how we found out where Mr. Ford's cottage is. They went up the price to build a nice deck on Mr. Ford's cottage. So they looked at it and they said to Mr. Ford, do you have the permits to build this deck with? He says, Who do you think I am? I'm the premier. Do you know I need permits? Hell no. I want you to get that thing done right away. I got a party we're going to have. My guys said, no, Mr. Ford. You're not going to lay that on us, because you know what's going to happen? When they get done that RCMP investigation on you, they're going to come look for us. Right? So my guys walked away from it. But we know where Premier Doug Ford's cottage is. His new $15 million cottage. And I bet you 100% that his good buddies, the developers, built that
Yeah, I
cottage.
bet you they did.
I'll guarantee you they did.
They passed the hat around?
Not the hat. They just put a bag full of money.
Yeah.
A brown bag.
How silly of me.
I know. But I'm telling you, we have the RCMP looking into what's going on here in the city of Kawartha Lakes. I got contacted by the OPP Indigenous Enforcement Unit last week. We meet with them tomorrow to discuss all about what we've brought up and found. Because indeed, if this has happened and what I'm saying is true, which I believe 120% that it's true from my grandmother's and from the documentation that I'm going to present in court, the province has one hell of a problem. So does the federal government. Not only that, this municipality, that mayor, that council, and all those people sitting inside City Hall, they better get ready for to size up their orange jumpsuits over there at that nice jail across from you, eh?
Yeah, how about that?
Won't that be funny, right? We can go over there and just wave. Maybe we couldn't visit them.
We could send Christmas cards.
Yeah. I'm telling you, what they've been doing here. I mean, when I did this, and again, people thought it was a joke. When I did my investigation on Mr. Letham's corruption when he was the mayor, they all said, oh, you're just upset, Mr. Denby. And that Mr. Letham's an upstanding citizen in our community. And then we find out he's working for Flatto.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus. He was working for Flatto all the time he was mayor, right? To get Flatto's projects approved for him.
Yeah.
We found that out clear at the council meetings from people that give deputations, that they had Mr. Letham knock on their door with a blank check saying, just fill in the numbers.
How much you want?
How much do you want? Mr. Flatto's got more money, I think, than the Bank of Canada.
Oh.
I'm almost sure. Doug, you want to tell especially the farmers, how you stood up on their behalf at council?
Well, I always stand up for farmers, as I am a farmer.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of staff, members of council, and members of the public. I've been here many, many times talking about the same thing, farms and our future. And it seems to be going on deaf ears here. And this municipality is the same municipality that I moved into 20 years ago. Very relaxed, very easygoing. Because I was a farmer in Markham. And I saw that municipality self-destruct with people like Flatto Developments. I talked about how they destroyed the river, the Rouge River, how they put a 14-foot sewer down to Lake Ontario to take all the affluent from development, and how they destroyed the Rouge River. Our farm was on the Rouge River. I fished as a boy. You can't fish anything in there now. It's completely destroyed. And this area here will go exactly the same way with development greed from developers, because you know what? From the day that they wake up in the morning to the time that they go to bed, how much money can they make? And it's communities like this that they use to get exactly what they want. Unfortunately, the cards are in your hands to make the right decisions, to make decisions so that we have a situation today where we're celebrating every child matters. Well, you know what? I agree with that. It's a little late, though. Okay? It's a little late to see every child dead. But we have a chance here to save our farms and our future. And what are we doing? We're going to destroy that. Okay, we're going to make every farm a developer's farm. Okay? That's not the way it should be. We need our farms. We need our future. Okay? I was going to bring a paper today showing you what a farm family looks like. It's a family of a husband, wife, and children with a future to bring them up the right way, hardworking, dedicated, tax-paying people. And that's what this area was founded by. Okay? Not developers that come in and make a fast buck and then leave. And these developers, if they can't make $1 here, believe me, the Academy Theater will be closed and he'll go somewhere else. I know Mr. Flatto, and I know Mr. Rantulas. I was part of one of his developments. And I know exactly what he does and how he does it. I'm here to teach you, and please listen to me. The man is all about money. He has 9 communities going at the same time. What does that teach you? What does that tell you? Does he really care about this community or the other 8? I don't want to see a funeral for every farm. Every farm matters. Thank you so much for the time today.
I went to council this past week, and of course I served a deputation to the council on, my feelings about the farms in this area and what they're trying to do and how they're depleting the farms at 319 acres per day. 319 acres per day does not take any holidays, does not take weekends. Every day, 319 acres of land is used for development in Ontario. And this is devastating to our future. Our future is being depleted. And of course they use the best farmland. They don't use just half, the land that is second grade or third grade or fourth grade. As in the East Ward of Lindsay there's 1,000, 1,300, 1,400 acres, 1,500 acres of prime A1 farmland that's going to be for slated for development.
If they get their way.
If they get their way. I personally, I think that the MZOs should be squashed. Those MZOs are pending because of Mr. Ford's relationship with Mr. Rantula, Flatto Developments. All these MZOs should be questionable at this point, and there should be no further movement ahead with these developments. As I said in council, every farm matters, and we need this in the future. Yeah. Okay, because our growth, our country, is also being depleted on our industries. Yeah. That's one of our major industries and prime industries that spreads out into many facets of other industries.
Can you imagine though, if we don't put a stop or try to put a stop to this, we're going to have a celebration 50 years from now, the same way that they're doing with Indigenous people.
Yeah.
It's going to be every farm matters because it's gone.
Well, it's going to be a funeral for every farm.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, I think that, as I said, we have to consider that the zonings of farms should be changed so that we cannot build on farmland in the future. There are places where, people can build homes or build subdivisions and so on land that is not used for agricultural purposes in the future.
And the issue is, all the developers that are building here, they're not building for our people.
No.
they would be building here. They'd be building houses that were 1,000 square foot, 1,200 square foot, but they're not.
No.
They're building $1 million houses for $1 million GTA people and immigrants that come into this country. And I don't know how they get their money in, but they're getting it in some way to be able to afford. It's like the subdivision down there in Colburn Street. The workers in there are from Turkey and from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
They're over here on a work visa.
Yeah.
We're not even employing our own workers to build them because Ford has set an agenda so big that we can't meet it without having foreign workers coming into this country. Now that's unbelievable. And it's not only that. If you look at the record people that are homeless, they can't afford to buy groceries, this is as bad as the Great Depression. And the worst is still to come, they're saying. So all we've said clearly, put a hold on everything.
Yeah. I agree.
Put a hold on till the RCMP complete their investigation into what went on in the Greenbelt, what's going on here in the city of Fourth Lakes.
There's lots going on here, too.
We have enough housing right now to meet our own people's demands. Let them build in the GTA.
Yeah.
They said they have ample land that's already set aside.
Well, it is.
And it's already there, serviced, ready to build on.
Yeah.
So why are they coming to create the next Muskoka?
Well, it's cheaper land up here than it is down there.
So it's more greed, more money, eh?
Well, if they can use this land,
Yeah.
okay, and then use the other land later on, make more money.
Yeah. For Bill, this is the Korth Insider.
And for Doug, this is the Korth Insider. Thank you.
You have something to say that you're not saying? If you do, then it's your fault. This is your fault. It's your problem. And you might say, well, I'm too afraid to talk. It's like, fair enough. How afraid are you not to talk? You know, people say to me frequently, they compliment me on my bravery. And I think, you don't understand. I'm not brave. I don't like conflict. I'm way more afraid of losing control of my tongue than I am of the consequences of saying what I have to say. Because I know what happens when we allow other people to control our tongues. It's not good.
That's all, folks.